Ladies and gentlemen, it has actually happened. I know. I can scarcely believe it either. It's taken a heck of a long time, but we are there. West Ham United have officially signed a player. I know. It's big. It's big. You've just got, sometimes you've just got to celebrate it, you know? And like, I've tried to remain incredibly positive in terms of we won the Europa Conference League. I really want to savour that win. You know, we won a trophy. I don't think we'll see this again for a long time. I want to savour this one. Maybe not to the same extent, but, you know, I want to savour this one because I don't. For us, apparently, it's a lot more difficult and rare than it should be. Edson Alvarez has officially signed on the dotted line. It's on the club website. It's been tweeted out the whole 9 yards. We have signed a football player. It's big, it's good, and I'm really happy with this one. I'm really happy with this one. I think there are multitudes to this transfer and a lot of different reasons why I think it works and why I'm really happy with it. Namely, he's good. He's good. When you put the list out of people who we've been linked to over the past month and, well, even beyond that, I guess, he certainly has been one of the ones that were higher up on my list. I think even this window, he was being linked to clubs like Borussia Dortmund. This is a very good player who has done it for Ajax at a high level and has been incredibly important to them since joining the club. He is someone who I have seen quite a bit of, although not so much recently, but whenever he has, I've enjoyed his performances, and he is what I thought we needed first. When you talk about what we needed in a post-Rice world, there's been lots of talk about us needing two different players to do the different things and all this stuff, and all these different aspects to that deal. And for me, I was becoming increasingly concerned that we were going to sign someone like James Ward-Prowse or Scott McTominay to play as the six, to play as the defender, because I felt like what we needed at least one guy who is a defensive midfielder, and then the second one we can be a bit more flexible depending on tactics, depending on all of that. But we really needed someone who was just going to stop, who was going to protect that back four. And actually, we've seen against Stade Rennes, we've seen against Leverkusen especially. Look, Souček and Downs, they ain't doing it. We really needed someone who was going to protect that because they walked through us. Like Leverkusen especially was awful. They just strolled through the centre of the park sometimes. And Edson Alvarez definitely brings that. He is a guy who formerly at centre-back, very strong defensively. Very, very strong defensively. And something I like, which is maybe scary, and I suspect we will get scared of at some point sooner rather than later this season, can be a bit rash. He just can be. I've seen him do some English commentators would call it robust slide challenges. You know what I mean? He goes in. And I'm all right with that. I want a bit of that. I always celebrated it. If you watch the watch-alongs, you'll know I talk about this a lot. When Mark Noble would do it, whenever other people would do it, I'm here for a reckless challenge. Now, obviously, we don't want too much of that, but he does have a little bit in that game. But it is that defensive quality that I really wanted. I wanted a guy who can stop and protect the back four, something we needed. And thankfully, we have got that now, and that can give us a little bit of freedom because, you know, when we're being linked with the likes of James Ward-Prowse, Scott McTominay, Conor Gallagher, not exactly defensive stalwarts, not exactly the peak of the peak here. I think there's been a lot of talk about progression and passing and all that sort of stuff, and I think that's going to be part of his game that I'll be interested to see how that ends up playing out in his adaptation to the Premier League and other things, because of course those things are very hard to judge when you're playing for Ajax in a league where you're going to dominate. It becomes a very difficult thing to do. But as someone who made the jump from Mexico to Ajax and adapted, I'm pretty confident he will adapt to the Premier League. I am. I think as well, you look at his size, you look at his power, kind of makes sense from Moyes as well. He's a big lad. He's a big lad who can win headers. That's something Moyes would probably be up for. He's quite tall. He's a big, stocky dude. But I think physically, he has the physicality to adapt to Premier League. And I think he probably has the right manager to dip his toe into the Premier League waters. You know, when we change manager inevitably at the end of this season or potentially before, I think he's someone who can adapt and move forward as well. But specifically with Dave Moyes, I think he has the right guy to sort of dip his toes in and start to do that. And the other part of the deal that I think is, I don't think can be discounted, which I really like, is I just think it's good value for money. I do. I think when you look at some of the numbers we've been quoted for, I don't know what I went for there. I sort of went for this and then this at the same time, and I sort of got stuck in the middle with that. When you look at some of the numbers we've been quoted for the likes of Paulinia, James Ward-Prowse, Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, basically every single player we've been linked to this summer, it's a lot. It's a heck of a lot. Way, way, way too much. And although, look, Alvarez is obviously not a cheap deal, I think outside of him, it's probably the one we look like we've been fleeced on the least. And I think although we have a lot of money, I spoke about this in the transfer rumours video, although we seem to have a lot of money with Rice and Skamaka leaving, and you could add Vlasic into there if you want as well. And you could maybe talk about wages, maybe Robin Lansing, all that stuff. Actually, in modern day football, in this window specifically, it doesn't seem to go that far. When we're being linked to the likes of McTominay and Maguire for a joint £60 million move, and that they're saying no, they want more, all of a sudden these things are adding up very quickly. And I think the deal to get Edson Alvarez through the door for the price we have, for the money we have, I think that represents better value than a heck of a lot of the ones we've been linked to before. And if you're a centre-back, we've seen with Paulinia this summer, right? Or last summer and then this summer being linked with a move away. If you're a central defensive midfielder like him who can come in and do the job to that sort of level, whether Alvarez will be Paulinia levels, I don't know, we'll see. But if you can do that, then all of a sudden you're skyrockets. Absolutely, your value absolutely skyrockets. And I think we've given ourselves the best opportunity for that. I'm really happy with this one. I'm really, really happy with this one. I think it's a good start. I think it's a bit late to be a good start, but it is at least one, and we can hopefully move forward with this and really start to build out the team. I think we've got a really good player on our hands, and I'm confident that he can make the jump, and that's almost as important as anything else. I'm excited for this one. I'm genuinely excited for this one. Will he or won't he start against Bournemouth? It's something we will find out at the weekend, of course, because Premier League football is making its triumphant return, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification button, because we will be live, of course, all throughout match day. We have our pre-match build-up show an hour and 5 minutes before kickoff. We have our watch-along, which starts just half an hour on. I basically come on and just take over and then go and do the watch-along for the entire stream. And then, of course, we have our live match review, where I suspect, if not starting, we will at least see Edson Alvarez at some point, although I think he probably will start. I'm not going to lie. I think he's probably going to get thrown straight into the fire with this one. And hey, maybe we'll get some movements on other players. And if we do get any more movements, you're damn certain that we'll be talking about it right here on Hammer's Chat. So, subscribe, like the video, hit the bell notification button, all of that good stuff. But there we go. Edson Alvarez has officially signed for West Ham United. We have done it. We have signed a player. Now, time to go get some more. But this one, I'm going to revel in. I'm going to enjoy. I like it. I think he's good. Good times. Let me know. How do you feel about Edson Alvarez in the comment section below? Do let me know. Are you excited to see him? Do you think he's going to make it? What are your thoughts? Let me know fully. Until next time, come on your hands, and I will see you soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye.